Welcome to the Pimp My Setup highlights for episode number 273. The first setup of the day was submitted by Jake. I'm a bit confused. In the first photo, we see that cable, and then in the next photo, did some Houdini shit. The overall vibe of the room, the layout, I think it's pretty cool. You know, the walls, they got the old time low sort of vibe going on. I like it. What I like about it is it's nice artwork, and it's not anything too over the top. It's kind of cool the way it's placed on the wall.
It seems like the desk like itself is a little underwhelming compared to the rest of the room, where it has a lot of cool stuff that draws your eye to things. So it's not you're not looking at the setup itself at first. I'm looking at the posters and all that, which is really cool.
Jake scored a 92. The next setup was submitted by Ed. And he was on episode 70. This is his setup when he was on episode 70. He said, well, apparently I said, this is the perfect example of how cable management can ruin your setup. Let's check it out, Tom. All right, go to the next photo. There we go. I mean, I'll give you a cookie. You done diddly did it. You put the cables in other spots. The cables are behind the monitors. We could see that. We could see bundles under the desk, which is fine as long as they're managed, but I'm seeing a little bit that could easily be fixed. The speakers are being cut off. They're extremely close in a confined space, whereas, you know, the computer doesn't necessarily need to be in that spot. You know, you turned it, obviously that was a laptop setup, whatever, but you turned it into a nice console gaming setup, which I like. So it's a good use of that left side. The right side, though, not working. And that's why I usually tell people to avoid these desks. Ed scored an 82. The next setup was submitted by Shelby. Out of sight, out of mind. I feel like you didn't do a great job with that. The reason people ask me why I hate myself and why I hate doing this show, it's because I say things so often and nobody listens. And it's like comments where they say, I started watching Pimp My Setup for so long now, I'm so inspired, I just love it. And then they do shit like put that goddamn rear speakers in front of you! You know, if you put one more thing on that desk, it's gonna look like a goddamn zoo. I mean, I don't know. You got fake plants out the wazoo. You got your swear jar. You know, you got, I mean, seriously, the amount of fake plants is just a little absurd. I think there's a lot of things that are easy to fix. The first step is get over your plant addiction. You don't need the plants. It's cool to have, like, in the left corner, you have one of those. Yeah, okay, that's it. You don't need 15 under your goddamn monitor. Get rid of the rear speakers. Someone said, he doesn't have a mouse. Okay, the mouse is charging right now. I mean, come on. You guys gotta at least see that.
I know the speakers confused you. There's so many speakers you can't see.
You thought it was another speaker. I get that. Shelby scored a 74. The next setup was submitted by Andy. First off, again, nice desk. Looks good. Looks clean. I like it. But I think maybe I'm just not, again, I'm not an audiophile, but when you have studio monitors, you don't need to like angle them in that much. Really a pretty simple desktop. Maybe a little bit more to go with it would be dope. I think it could look pretty cool if you put the PC on top of the Alex drawer and had like a nice side window on it, and you know, that would look cool. But yeah, there's no theme here, and that's really kind of what's killing you. Andy scored a 76. The next setup was submitted by Nick. I think it almost might be worth just using the one display and calling it a day, because that's kind of what this desk calls for. Unless you had two of the same displays and it would fit. I think, you know, putting the 360 in between is not a great idea. You know, the left side, we're seeing so many cables in that under shelf portion. The games being under there, that's fine. I just think, you know, storing cables and shit in there is really not the best thing in the world. Theme is also not great when you're covering most of the stuff and it's so low and you're not utilizing that top spot. Nick scored a 66. The next setup was submitted by Juiced. He's on episode 202, like Tom just said, and he's upgraded his submission since then. Taking a look at the new updated photo, here it is. You can see he kind of had a glow up with the wall, putting shelves up. I'm just going to be honest, you know, the left shelf is like right up against the wall, and then the shelf above that is overlapping that shelf, but there's so much room to the right side. And if you look at the right side, past the sword, other than a little bit of the subwoofer, that whole like section is completely empty. There's nothing going on there. So you just kind of put it towards the weird part of the ceiling. Juice scored a 90. The next setup was submitted by Matt. I really like this. I think it's different. It's something we haven't seen before. I think the vinyl wrap really adds a whole nother, this is going to sound so corny, but a whole nother dimension. I'll be honest, straight up, I'm not a huge fan of like what the theme is. Like, I like the Star Wars stuff. This is more of a personal thing. So I'm not going to like it because it's not something I connect with. Matt scored a 94. The final setup of the day was submitted by Jett. He hates this shelf, but it's the only way to hold the router, the modem, and shit. Literally, a pile of shit is on his shelf. He said there are some wires and he didn't know how to hide them well due to the weird color of his wool. You can see the brown paper. That's what he used to hide most of the wires. My one big thing is I like when the left monitor is level with the main monitor. That's one of my bigger complaints here. So I'm minus 15,000 points off for that. So I hope you're not feeling too bad. I do like the Mike Scott quote, but I don't know if that's really the best spot to hide a power strip and stuff like that. It's pretty fire. You didn't have drooping cables down on the floor. Jett scored an 80. Matt walked away with first place with a 94. Thanks for watching the Pimp My Setup highlights for episode number 273.